Imagine facing the most powerful ruler on earth, a king who demands absolute obedience. What would you do if his command went against everything you believe? This isn't just a hypothetical question, it's the true story of three men who stood against an empire, choosing faith over fear, even as the flames roared right before them. Welcome to ancient Babylon, a city of immense power and splendor, ruled by the mighty King Nebuchadnezzar. He was a king accustomed to getting his way. One day, he erected a colossal golden statue, a monument to his own glory. He then issued a decree that echoed throughout his vast kingdom. As the trumpets, lyres, and harps sounded, every person, from every nation and language, was commanded to fall down and worship this golden image. The penalty for disobedience was terrifying and absolute: to be thrown immediately into a blazing furnace. The music played, and a wave of humanity bowed to the ground, a sea of submission before the king's idol. But in the midst of this universal compliance, three figures remained standing. Their names were Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These three were Jewish exiles, faithful servants of their God, and they refused to bow. When the king's officials saw their defiance, they were furious and immediately reported them to Nebuchadnezzar. The king, enraged that anyone would dare to defy his command, summoned them. He gave them one last chance. "Is it true," he asked, "that you will not serve my gods or worship the golden image I have set up? I will give you one more opportunity, but if you do not worship, you will be thrown into the blazing furnace. Then what god will be able to rescue you from my hand?" Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered with a calm and unshakable resolve. They told the king, "If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God we serve is able to deliver us from it, and he will deliver us from your majesty's hand. But even if he does not, we want you to know, your majesty, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image you have set up." Their faith was not a bargaining chip. It wasn't conditional on their rescue. Their commitment to God was absolute, regardless of the outcome. This bold declaration of faith pushed the king's fury over the edge. His face contorted with rage, Nebuchadnezzar ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter than usual. The flames leaped so high and grew so intense that the very soldiers tasked with carrying out the sentence were consumed by the heat. The king's rage had turned into a literal inferno, but the faith of these three men stood unshaken. The strongest soldiers in the army bound Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and, just as the king had commanded, threw them into the heart of the blazing furnace. From a human perspective, this was the end. There was no hope, no escape. The fire was meant to be their grave, a testament to the king's power. But God had a different plan. As Nebuchadnezzar peered into the roaring flames, expecting to see nothing but ash, his jaw dropped in astonishment. He leaped to his feet and cried out to his advisors, "Weren't there 3 men that we tied up and threw into the fire?" They replied, "Certainly, your majesty." The king then declared, "Look, I see 4 men walking around in the fire, unbound and unharmed, and the 4th looks like a son of the gods." A miracle was unfolding in the heart of the inferno. The fire that was meant to destroy them had instead become a sanctuary. The ropes that bound them were burned away, but not a single hair on their heads was singed. They were not just surviving, they were walking freely, accompanied by a divine, radiant being, an angel of the Lord. The fiery furnace had become a holy space, glowing not with destructive heat, but with the light of God's presence. Completely stunned, Nebuchadnezzar approached the opening of the furnace. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God, he shouted, "Come out, come here." And so they did. They walked out of the fire, completely untouched by the flames. The high officials, governors, and royal advisors crowded around them, examining them in disbelief. Their clothes weren't scorched, and there wasn't even the smell of smoke on them. The fire had no power over their bodies. In that moment, the king's pride was replaced by awe. He proclaimed, "Praise be to the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and rescued his servants. They trusted in him and defied the king's command, willing to give up their lives rather than serve or worship any god except their own. Nebuchadnezzar then issued a new decree: anyone who spoke against the God of these three men would be punished, for no other god can save in this way. The story of the fiery furnace is a powerful testament to the strength that comes from unwavering faith. It teaches us that true courage isn't the absence of fear, but the decision to trust God even when we are afraid. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego showed that a faith that defies fear can withstand even the fiercest flames. Their story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, when the fires of life seem overwhelming, we are not alone. God is with us, and His power is greater than any challenge we may face. Thank you for watching. If this story inspired you, please like, share, and subscribe for more content that explores the incredible power of faith. See you next time.